You spend hours and hours creating beautiful fabrics, but do you really know how to care for them? Why waste those hours with just knowing some proper care? Why lose the stitch definition after some washes? Welcome back, everyone. It's Tuesday. Christine here. So how do you truly care for all the fabrics that you create with your hands, and why it's so important so that you don't end up with fuzz or felting? I've got a lot of questions lately about this, and I thought it was the perfect time. So let's go and start talking about some of the attributes of wool first. Wool is awesome. So the first attribute of wool, if you did not know this, it is fire resistant. So if you place it in a fire, which why would you, it is fire resistant. Another property of wool, that it wicks moisture away. So in fact, wool can soak up as much as 30% of its weight in moisture without feeling wet. It is also mold and mildew resistant. It has its own microbial environment. Pretty cool. It is also hypoallergenic because dust mites do not like wool. So you don't have to worry about dust, it repels it. Wool is extremely flexible and durable. One wool fiber can be bent back and forth over 20,000 times before it will eventually snap. And wool is environmentally friendly as long as it's ethically sourced. And wool also keeps you cool while also wicking that moisture away. So those are some of the attributes of wool. A little experiment. Let's go see. This sock, which is 100% BFL and it's supposed to be superwash, I threw it in the washing machine on a gentle cycle with some other clothes. And in the earlier clip, you can see that it did get fuzzy and start peeling, and some of its stitch definition is gone. And in the next one, I've hand washed it. Put it back on my blockers and let it dry. This one is merino wool and nylon base, and there's no fuzz. So as you can see in the experiment, it did change the shape of the sock a little bit. This one's a little smaller than this one. They were roughly about the same stitch count in the round for an average woman's sock. So why did I show you that? Well, even though they're two different types of wool and they share pretty much the same attributes, one being merino and nylon, one being 100% BFL, both of them are superwash. But as you can tell, with the one I put in the washer in a bag on a gentle cycle, it needs some help, just a little bit. So why am I telling you this? Because why spend all those hours wasting your time if you're not going to care for it, or if you're not going to pass on how to care for your projects? Yes, there's many wool washes out there, Woolite, Eucalyptus. Some local soap makers make wool washes, and it's not hard to make your own. I have one here that I can barely, I'll spare you what's all in it because I can't. One of my favorite little DIY tricks is, give me a second, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. We all have these laying around our house, don't we? Little bits and pieces of soap that we use every day to wash ourselves, to wash our hands, to wash our face, to wash our body. And I'm really frugal when it comes to this, because you can make liquid hand soap out of this and water, which is pretty cool. Or you can make your own wool wash. I believe it's a cup of little bits of soap that we have all laying around in our either kitchens or bathrooms, 1.5 liters of water, and a few drops of an essential oil. Now, like Eucalyptus and a lot of them, they put eucalyptus in their wool wash. Why eucalyptus? Because it has antimicrobial properties. But in the attributes that I gave you, the 7, wool has its own microbial environment. So you can use, I use tea tree. If you're into lavender, you can do that. All you have to do is melt it down in a pot and stir it, because it does bubble and it will cook down and melt together into a nice little wool wash. So there's a little DIY for you as well. I'll put that in the end screen as written out, some instructions if you're interested in making that. And in all my descriptions in my online store, I always recommend hand washing, because I don't want to waste my time and effort by creating something with my hands only to have it either felt or pill. Because then I have to sit there and work with it to make it look as beautiful as it once was. So there you have it. All wool is generally the same attributes when it comes to being fire resistant, mold and mildew resistant, moisture wicking. Another reason why I showed you 2 different types of wool done in socks. Merino has a bad rap for peeling a lot because of its really short staple length. And BFL, which is my BFF, if you've watched those videos, has a much longer staple length and is prone to less peeling. But as you saw in this sock, without the proper care, it still will peel. So I hope you got some information out of this. I hope that you enjoy creating new fabrics, and now that you know how to care for them, even though they're superwash, why you shouldn't throw them in the washing machine. So please like, subscribe, as always, hit the bell to be notified for when I post a new video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Okay, for those of you who are interested in the DIY wool wash, even if you give away your projects, put it in a nice little jar, baby food jar, whatever. You only need, what is it? A 1/4 to 1/2 of a teaspoon for a sweater. So this stuff's pretty potent. You wouldn't want to put this in the washing machine. And again, you want to melt the soap down and add the water and bring it to a boil for about 5 minutes, and then simmer it and constantly stir for about 15 minutes, because as I said earlier, it does bubble. So you can make a big batch, a small batch, and the recipe is forthcoming. Have fun. Happy creating.